Episode 790.
Spread out 3 steps. Clerics, keep an eye on everyone's health.
Before the players could even catch their breath, Invincible Most Handsome's warning came again. Everyone knew the boss was about to unleash its ultimate move. The instruction to stay 3 paces clear, vague as it sounded, was something Invincible Handsome had already explained in detail. The 3 body lengths meant the 3 grid positions around the boss. At this point, no one was allowed within that 3 grid radius. Also, keep an eye on everyone's health. That hint was enough to remind them what this boss was about to do. After all, even if you've never eaten pork, you've seen a pig run. The moment Invincible Most Handsome finished speaking, the boss's shovel spun in a circle, slamming into the ground again and again, flinging dirt wildly into the air, and the spot it was digging up was exactly 3 body lengths away. Though the players had received the instruction, in that brief moment, some failed to judge exactly how far 3 body lengths was. A few even managed to be perfectly fine where they stood, only to misjudge and step forward into danger. Some were killed outright by the shovel's blade, while others were sent flying as it swung back up. After a chorus of screams, the shoveled earth finally rained back down, faint ripples of mana clinging to the soil, though its presence felt far from imposing. After that chaotic flurry, the debris scattered everywhere, blanketing the boss in a full 360-degree radius. By now, the players wanted to escape the area, but it was already impossible. The boss completed that entire sequence in the blink of an eye. Seeing the dirt rain down, everyone scrambled to dodge, yet a nagging thought lingered in their minds. Wasn't there something important they were supposed to remember?
Watch out for the 3 o'clock position.
Luckily, the warning came just in time. Those dazed players snapped to attention, realizing their path was heading straight for the 3-position formation, and broke out in a cold sweat. Then there were those who hadn't even noticed the warning. The moment they got within 3 paces, a surging wave of mana snatched them up and killed them on the spot. The players finally got it. This Tomb Keeper, Amxit, if you classified him by Glory's 24 classes, would be a thief, a trap specialist. His big move is basically just spamming traps everywhere. Is this guy a gravekeeper or a grave robber? But at this point, no one had the luxury of worrying about such details. The cascading dirt was impossible to dodge entirely, but luckily its damage wasn't too severe. The clerics kept their focus sharp, swiftly pulling the falling health bars back up. In all the chaos, the clerics had completely overlooked a critical detail. The main tank, the one who should have been bleeding health every second, demanding their constant attention, hadn't needed their help at all. The clerics scrolled through the raid list, clicking names by their health bars, yet not once did they ever click on Wudi Zui Junlang's name. Only after all the dirt had settled and the wave of attacks ended, with every player's health fully restored, did the clerics naturally turn their focus back to the MT. Yet they still failed to notice the issue, because these clerics weren't a single person. Even if she hadn't healed the tank for a while, that didn't mean the other clerics hadn't either. So when everyone saw Invincible Most Handsome standing there completely unharmed, it never even crossed their minds that this MT had actually been holding the line all on his own, without a single cleric watching over him.
Don't panic. The boss's big attack is just those 3 shovel swings. Focus, and they're easy to dodge.
The 3 big attacks swept through, and the Joyful Sheep team lost 14 members, including their leader. But they didn't realize that for a first-time clearing group facing the final boss, their losses were already remarkably light. In truth, no other team facing the 3rd ultimate of the Tomb Keeper, Amuset, would have it as easy as the Joy Sheep team did. After all, they didn't have a tank of Yeshu's caliber. For most teams, when the 3rd ultimate hits, the clerics are stretched thin. They have to protect the tank and the whole party at once. One slip-up, and players start dropping left and right. Shi Jiang was fortunate enough to have a tank of Yeshu's caliber. At that critical moment, the clerics didn't need to watch over him at all. They could focus entirely on protecting the rest of the team, and that was how they managed to get through that phase without a hitch. If it were still 7-Leaf Flower and the others as their tanks, losing half the team to this move wouldn't even be surprising. The final boss fight raged on. After getting a first-hand lesson in all three of the Gravekeeper Imhotep's shovel techniques, the players of Joyful Sheep Squad didn't dare spare a single second of distraction. Aside from giving this fight their absolute best, every single one of them shared the exact same thought. Once they got out of here, they were going to find those idiots who said the ninth boss was harder than the final boss, and settle the score properly. That so-called number 9 boss couldn't even compare to a single random swing of Amset's 3 shovel strikes. Meanwhile, at the teleportation array of the aerial tomb, Joy Sheep was a bundle of nerves. He had anticipated the final boss fight would be brutal, but being the first one to die, that he hadn't seen coming. Wasn't I just trying to share the excitement of making it to the final boss without a scratch? But typing cost him a second, and his opening move was just a hair too slow. Who knew this boss was so savage? One swing of its shovel and it smacked him right out of the arena. Shi Zhiyang was kicking himself. This was just the start of the boss fight, not the clear, why was he already getting so cocky? Dying in the dungeon didn't drop your gear, but you still lost experience points. Furthermore, given the brutal environment of the Heavenly Domain, dying in a dungeon and reviving at the entrance grants full health and status. The Sky Tomb floated high in the air, its entrances scattered across several teleportation arrays on the Heavenly Domain continent. After reviving, Shi Zhiyang was dropped off at the entrance of the teleportation array they had entered through. As the scene snapped back, Shi Zhiyang immediately realized he'd been dropped right in the middle of a crowd. Without a second thought, he went on high alert. This was the Heavenly Domain, after all. The most basic rule of the Heavenly Domain was to stay on guard. Being thrown into a crowd was far more dangerous than being thrown into a monster pack. But soon enough, Shi Zhiyang let out a small sigh of relief after getting a clear look at the titles above their heads. These people had Valiant Pride 5th Branch floating above their heads. A full team, lounging or standing around the teleport point, silent and looking far from lively. Shi Zhiyang was from the 4th branch, and these people were from the 5th branch. Technically, they were from the same guild, so there was no need to worry about them trying to steal his gear. But once he got a good look at the names on this team, Joy Sheep wasn't exactly thrilled either. Especially one of the knights. Upon seeing Shi Zhiyang suddenly resurrect right in the middle of their group, immediately stood up, staggered over, and circled around him a few times.
What do you want?
Joyful Sheep shouted, but there was a distinct note of bluster in his voice.
Well, am I seeing things?
The knight circled a few times, then halted at Shi Zhiyang's sharp command.
Isn't this our great leader, Joy Sheep? I heard your group made it all the way to the final boss of the Sky Tomb without a single death. Funny how I run into you here, of all places. Let me check. From the moment you said that to me, it's been a full half-minute. Did Boss Shi just one-shot the boss for you?
Joyful Sheep was in tears. This was exactly why he couldn't be happy. Because what were the odds? This very guy was the same share happiness target he'd just killed by sharing his joy. The Wolf Head Garlic, guild leader of the Wolf Pack, 5th branch of tyrannical ambition. Even though the 4th and 5th guilds weren't officially the same guild in the system's eyes, everyone still flew the banner of tyranny and cheered for the same tyranny team. So from the players' perspective, they saw each other as allies. Still, these branches and teams do love to compare themselves to one another, like different business units under the same company competing on performance. And dungeon progress is naturally the main arena for that rivalry.